Hello everyone! So in the previous video I showed you how I grew my baby Scoby from store-bought kombucha, and if you're new to my channel and you're interested, I will put a link up above. However, in today's video I am going to show you how I actually fermented my first kombucha and some of the scares that I had. And the ingredients are the same as the ones we used to grow our baby Scoby. However, the proportions are different. You will need 1 gallon of spring water or any other chlorine-free water, 7 or 8 bags of organic black tea, and 1 cup of organic sugar. Start by pouring only 1/3 of the water in a stainless steel pot, then add the 1 cup of sugar and then start stirring it with wooden spoon, and don't bring the liquid to boil, just warm it up until the sugar is dissolved. Then tie the tea bags together in a knot, add them to the brew, cover it and let it sit for 10 minutes. Then take the tea bags out and add the rest of the water, and this way your brew is gonna cool down much faster, because in order to make kombucha you will need the liquid to be at room temperature. And if you have zero patience like me, you can just let the brew sit in a bed of ice and it will only take about 7 or 8 minutes to cool down to room temperature. Then pour the brew in a sterilized 1 or 2 gallon jar, and this is 2-gallon jar because I'm planning on making even a bigger batch next time. Then take your brand new baby Scoby out of the jar, pour the liquid of the jar inside the tea, and then place the baby Scoby inside the jar with the glossy side up. And as you can see, the Scoby sunk all the way to the bottom of the jar, but don't worry about it because it will eventually make its way up. Then cover your future kombucha with a clean tablecloth, secure it with a twine or a rubber band, and if you don't feel weird about it, you should say a few nice words to your future kombucha. Then take it to a dark and quiet room where the temperature is between 70 and 84 degrees and let it be for a week. Now, when it comes to fermenting and culturing foods, I'm very wary of mold because I don't want to breathe it, I don't want to touch it, and I definitely don't want to ingest it. So although I'm not supposed to, I was keeping an eye on my kombucha, because this is my first kombucha I've ever brewed, and I thought that these round things are mold, and I totally freaked out. I almost threw it out, but fortunately it turned out that these were just bubbles from the fermentation, because over here you see the kombucha the very next day. This is day 3, and this picture here it's at day 4. So it turned out it wasn't mold. So just if you ever brew or ferment or culture your own food, just be very wary of mold. And I ferment my own sauerkraut, I make my own yogurt, my own pickles, my own pickled tomatoes, so I always keep an eye and make sure there is no mold because it is toxic. And when it comes to how long to ferment kombucha, it really depends on your weather. It could take anywhere from 7 days if it's warm to about 2 weeks if it's cold. And the temperature in my house, it's at about, I would say between 80 and 84 degrees. So it actually only took 1 week for my kombucha to be ready. And that's why on day 7, I decided to try my kombucha and see if it's done. And in order to do that, I took a clean straw and I dipped it underneath the Scoby, took a little bit of kombucha out so I can do a test. And generally, if it's not done, it's gonna taste too sweet because the sugar is still gonna be there. And if it has gone too long, then it's gonna taste vinegary. That's why it's good when you first start making kombucha to do a test the very first 7 days, after the first 7 days, so you can find your sweet spot. And also because this is my very first batch of kombucha, I decided to buy a bottle of raw and organic unflavored kombucha from the store, so I can actually compare the two tastes. And after comparing them, I think it is perfect right after day 7. And now that my kombucha is done fermenting, I am going to take both Scobys out. And this is the baby Scoby, the new Scoby that formed on the top of the kombucha, the one that I thought that it was molding, however it wasn't. So this is the baby Scoby that just grew, and I'm gonna take, sometimes the original Scoby, the mother Scoby, gets stuck to this one. In my case it just separated, so I am going to take the original mother Scoby out. Here you can see how nice and shiny it is. and put it in a glass cup, and then I'll put the other Scoby in as well, and I will add 2 cups of the kombucha to preserve for my next batch of kombucha. And then in the next step, we are going to be flavoring, bottling, and carbonating our kombucha. So I'm learning things as I go, so if you have any questions or suggestions, please put them in the comment section below. And if you find this video helpful, please give it the thumbs up. And if this is your first time visiting my channel, please subscribe. Thank you so much for watching.